As everyone can see here, the new Model Y has its own unique look. Was that a deliberate decision, and what was the design philosophy behind it?
Yeah, this was deliberate because when you look back when we were launching Model Y in 2018, our priority was to have as many parts as possible common with the Model 3. So we had like headlamps and the chassis parts. So that was our priority in order to be able to minimize the amount of work we had to do and bring this product as fast as possible, ramping it up and having a common supply chain. But as we started to expand Model Y and became the best-selling car in the world, we started to have dedicated supply chain in all the regions. So now we have Model Y being built in 4 factories, 3 continents, close to 1 million cars, or over 1 million cars a year. So by doing that, we were able to now actually start having them divorcing from each other and actually have our own supply chain and own design. So that was really on purpose. And to answer your second question, the inspiration behind Model Y is really behind the Cybertruck and the Cybercab we recently announced, and really taking behind this like light bar concept, one single pieces in the rear that you've seen with the Rear Robot event, for example.
Yeah, just to build on that, there were a lot of constraints in the original product from the state perspective. And credit to like the team down in Los Angeles that did the design work. They really did an amazing job with what they had to work with, because the importance was breaking into the market, showing the world what EVs can do, making a product that had the utility to be able to attend to most people's needs. But yet now that we've got the opportunity to go to it and make an aesthetic that matches the vehicle, that then shows lines up with the proportions of the vehicle better, and then brings in some of that newer aesthetic that we have from Cybercab and Cybercab and Cybertruck. It really gives the product a fresh new face.
Yeah, I'm just glad now I can tell the difference between the 3 and the Y. But one of the most important questions, I think of, it feels like, in Germany they had a couple of special colors over there. Now we know in Shanghai they had the glacier blue. So my question is, how come, or is the glacier blue coming to the US?
Yeah, so I think one of the real successes we've had here in North America is the existing blue that we've got, and it's really quite popular over here. So I think we're keeping on with the existing blue at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not the ideal answer, but we're working on new colors. More to come, I think, on this one. And I cannot comment more on the timing, but there's more colors. And if you put 2 and 2 together, when you look at the website, you can think there is some new colors coming. It takes some time for factories to ramp it up, and we'll be able to announce it very soon.
All right. The front light bar, which you hinted at, it gives the Model Y a very distinctive look. What is the design philosophy behind that? What inspired you guys to go with that? And then similarly on the tail light, that's really different too, right? That bar. What was considered around the design choices for the rear light bar as well?
Sure. So I'm going to start at the rear end first.
Okay.
Because that rear tail lamp, it's really something special. It is a one piece. It is over 5 feet long, and it is a indirect reflective tail lamp, first of its kind in the world, where we're actually reflecting off the exterior body panel. It takes its inspiration from the Cybercab and the rear Cybercab light that's on that prototype that we have. So we've scaled that to the new Model Y, and we've kept it one piece, similar to what we did on the Model 3 refresh, where we kind of integrated those lamps into the deck. We've done the same thing here, so it's all one component all the way across, and that provides really that distinct cues for the back of the car. On the front of the car, we have a light bar as well, again borrowing in from our Cybertruck styling, and expanding on that. So having the full length light bar, having that distinctive front Tesla look, that front Tesla appearance that I think is starting to become more ubiquitous with products like the Cybertruck, and now this product here as well. So
dampers. The other thing on the body stiffness, what it allowed us, and I think we can maybe when we walk around the car, we can show you and pull the screen, the cowl screen. But when you pull the cowl screen, you will see there's actually an addition of 2 new braces that actually connect the shock tower to the body and allow us to make the overall front end of the body stiffer. We reinforce the rear header where the lift gate is going and attached where the hinges are to, again, improve body stiffness. And on the rear of the car, if one day you want to stick around the car, but under it, there is actually a new brace we've added to connect the subframe to the body, again, to stiffen the back end of the car. So overall, it resulted with a 3% torsional stiffness improvement into the vehicle that then in result allow us to reduce the bushing stiffness to improve the overall comfort of the vehicle without giving away the DNA of a vehicle, which is having a fun handling and drive when you do a mountain road, for example.
Yeah, if you experience your Model 3, like the frequencies electric damp is definitely a big enabler on that, but also you have that confidence when you drive it that it's able to absorb imperfections, it's able to absorb imperfections in the road and still feel smooth and confident through them. And this exhibits all of that. It's really great.
Can you talk about the new door and latch and seal systems? You know, doors and how they close and the thump that they make. It's kind of important for a lot of buyers. You know, German automakers are known for the door and how they sound. Can you speak to the new latching system?
Yeah, the new latching system is actually the same one as we have on Model 3. Before the transition of the new Model 3, we were using a latch system that was designed by suppliers. But with the new Model 3, we transitioned to a new design that was made in-house that is acoustically sealed latch that allow us to like get this improvement when you close it. On top of that, like we discussed, we did a lot of NVH improvement, torsional stiffness improvement that help with not having this reverberation when you close the door. And last but not least, the check strap. So you know what's holding the door and allowing you to have different detent and hold it in different position. We tuned the profile to actually have a smoother closing effort when you opening and closing it. So all of that resulted in this more premium sound when you're closing it.
We're going inside the car now. Big question for you. What was the reasoning behind removing the gear stock in favor of touchscreen controls while keeping the turn signal stock?
Okay, turn signals. Yes, we kept turn signals. Yeah. Do you want to take turn signals? Do you want me to take turn signals?
I can understand that right now. So now we can use our blinkers in roundabouts. We could.
Roundabouts, yeah. So, yeah, absolutely. I think from European market especially, like roundabouts are a lot of feedback. Do you want to? As long as you're the guy.
No, I'll leave it to you. Leave it to all of them.
No, so definitely roundabouts were a big one in Europe, where indicators we got a lot of feedback there that on the Model 3 update that indicators are necessary. So we've done that, and what that allows us to do actually, like on the Model 3, we have lots of functions in the steering wheel because you end up with like indicators, you end up with high beams, you end up with wipers, camera, and one other.
Wipers, camera,
Voice and voice. So 6. You end up with 6, not including the scroll wheels, right? So that ends up being 3 per side. And then that one function that's like in the middle, you've got to like stretch in to get it. And that layout is a little costed. So by taking indicators out, not only do we attend to the customer feedback we've got, but also it allows us to simplify the buttons. So then we end up with like 2 and 2 either side. So that makes it ergonomically better as well. And then for drive selector, I think drive selector right now, it's with auto shift. And like if any of you have experienced full self-driving and auto shift, it's really getting more and more mature. I use it every day, and I think that'll become more and more proficient. It is right there on the screen, right next to you when you're ready to go. So it self-presents. And we didn't get anywhere near the feedback on drive selector, and we believe that we've got a solid solution there for auto shift.
Yeah, and if you also look at the indicator stock, we didn't go back to a full 2 detent. I think some of you probably noticed there's like you have 1 detent and then you have a second detent. We didn't do that. We just went with 1 detent because also now with the auto cancel, which is working very well, we didn't think it was necessary to go with a 2 detent where you can just like stick and the indicator remains on because we have the auto cancel again with the firmware with auto shift. It's getting much better.
So how did you guys also achieve the fastest rear folding seats in the industry? And I also noticed too today, like the front seats. So if there's someone sitting in it, it actually will go down partial. But if there's no one sitting in it, it will be able to move up accordingly, and then it moves back after it's down. So
Yeah. The seat conversation we had in the design studio was very interesting. When we talked about, okay, let's have this power recline seats, we had a design and the seats were folding in 7 seconds. Okay. And we were like, today, when you you push the button with the spring, it's actually like instantaneous. It's like 1 second. And we're like, if it's 7 seconds, you're holding something, you go to Home Depot, you're like, okay, now I have to wait with the auto frunk feature now as well. So we're like, okay, we need to find a way, we need to challenge those 7 seconds because in the industry, like 7 seconds is pretty normal. So our design team went back, worked with the supplier, design like a bespoke gearbox that allow us to actually shave off those seconds and get to actually an end product of 4.5 seconds.
wow.
Yeah, break the requirements. It's like, it's very easy to accept industry standard. It's very easy to accept it and take what's off the shelf and go for it. But no, we didn't stop there. Like we weren't satisfied with that product, and so yeah, in-house design of the gearbox, some work with some of our partners, and we got there.
You guys also redesigned the center console. You added the interior LED lights. You have some new woven and textured dashboard materials. Those are all refinements. Can you speak to how these design changes help enhance the premium feel of the interior?
Yeah, I think like the wood is gone. I think we're looking at it. We're like, okay, what we want to do is with craftsmanship, we always want to make sure that the car like is still a calm, quiet, and serene environment. So with the aluminum addition, the genuine aluminum addition, we wanted to make it more premium. We also added like stitch on the IP, stitch on a bezel around the console. Again, it's not trying to put too much jewel. We're just making it like a nicer, more serene environment. Again, like Nathan mentioned earlier, when we talked about the NVH, we used more premium material, not just to make the overall cabin look more premium, but also serve a purpose of improving NVH. Okay, so if you were to touch the headliner and the pillars, there's actually a foam backing of 2.5. So haptic-wise, it's improved for you, but also on the NVH side, it's a major improvement for overall cabin noise, roll noise. On top of that, like we wrapped a lot of the materials. There's no more molding color on the door trims, on the console. All the materials have been wrapped. We also improved the trunks. Because the Model Y is really a family vehicle where you also load and load a lot of items. You go to Home Depot, and in the past with the molding color, it would get scratched. So now we have carpeted trunk side trim as well as liftgate that got covered completely. And it's better for overall, like when you want to load it and avoid scratches. Other thing we've done is hiding the speakers. Okay, so the liftgate speakers are still there, but they are hidden behind the fabrics. And all, again, is like we want you to not know where the sound is coming from and enjoy this overall ambience and atmosphere when you're riding the car.
Right, was the front-facing camera. So you brought that to the Model Y. So, what was the thought behind that? Is autopilot or FSD integrated at all with that? And then, do we think the Model 3 Highland is going to get it?
Yeah, so there's a specific challenge on Model Y in that it's like Model 3 doesn't have this challenge to the same extent, in that the fact that Model Y is larger and taller, it has a larger blind spot in front of the front fascia. And so when we're doing things like actually Smart Summon, it allows us to like identify that area in front of the car. So that's the primary function for the front fascia camera, and the reason why Model Y specifically gets it. Yeah, and Cybertruck, those larger vehicles with the bigger blind spot in front. Yeah.